Welcome back. Well, joining us this weekend to talk markets, Chris Swift of Swift Trading Company out of Nashville, and Tommy Grisafi, who recently moved to Nashville with Nesvik Trading. Thank you both for joining us. Let's dive right in. Okay, I know the CR this week, it's been up in the air, but the inclusion of year-round E15 initially, Tommy, it didn't even move the corn market. Why?
It's funny you mentioned that because a dear friend of mine who was in front of a Bloomberg terminal, he texted. He said, "Did you see this?" And I, of course, I was driving. I looked at my phone. I said, "Yeah, it's not doing anything." What reaction are we looking for? I know it's something we talk about all the time, but the corn market's just a little engine that could. It's been trading up. Obviously, it traded down the last few days towards the end of the week, but it's doing so much better than the bean market. Maybe, maybe the answer is simple enough that the market doesn't care. The funds have a small long position. It's Christmas time as I'm wearing my red tie, and professional traders have left the room. If you are having a good year trading, you are done. If you're having a bad year trading, you're wishing you were done. The money is left. Anyone else left trading these markets, the markets will have to move to an extreme enough price to get that speculator or fund back in the market time.
Are we seeing a similar situation, Chris, when it comes to the cattle markets? Are the funds just kind of tired at this point?
No, actually, we have seen some of the largest commodity fund growth in the livestock as we've seen ever. Maybe after yesterday's report of the Fed announcing they may not lower rates anymore coming into 2025, it tended to spook the equities market. Now we see that McDonald's is also starting to put out, showing they're having lower consumer traffic in there. They're not paying for as much in the having to buy a lot more value meals. So when we talk about the commodity funds in there, we know that they look at a lot of economic data. And right now, some of that economic data seems to be pointing more towards greater inflation than what it does deflation.
So, Chris, then was that the story of what was really pressuring boxed beef prices this week?
I think a lot of it is when we look at the boxed beef market, we know that we've had cattle prices higher and we move those prices consistently up through the chain to the supply chain. But as we see around that 315 to 317 level in the boxes, that tends to start making a retail price for our steaks and our roast at a level where the consumer begins to question whether or not they want to pay for that or potentially go to an alternative protein program.
Interesting. All right, Tommy, you kind of alluded to it earlier. I mean, corn does have a bullish story, but are soybeans the anchor that will prevent corn prices from moving higher in 2025? Because when you look at corn and you look at soybeans, it seems like there's two different stories unfolding for those commodities.
Yeah, I could call a client right now and say, corn, we had a 2.2 billion carryout. Heck, if we watched this show a year ago, we were talking about a 3 billion carryout. That didn't happen. 2.2 turned into 2 to 1.8 to 1.7. Spreads tighten. Basis, cash market firmed. The market rallied. That when we traded 450 in March, tens of millions of bushels traded. So buyers, sellers, speculators, farmers with priced orders all traded right there. Such a smoother transition when we talk about corn. We talk about beans. Still amazed we had that dollar rally at harvest, and I feel farmers kind of poo-pooed it. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's it's just getting started." The fundamentals are so bearish when you look at the world bean stocks and you look at South America just trying to bury the American farmer. Now, as we come into 2025, you and all the analysts, we're going to have the great acre debate coming into the end of March crop report when we say the acres planting intentions. I met with farmers a lot the last week as I traveled across America, and I asked them, corn, soybeans, wheat, why? And that's a great question that the debate will happen. The function of the market will work. That corn bean spread is really widening out. Right now, corn looks favorable, but if you're going to plant corn, you better hedge corn time.
Yeah, so what is the hard truth that farmers really need to realize as we head into 2025? We're going to talk about that after the break.